What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Soul Brothers, hosted by yours truly, Flex Luther, and none other than Morgan Sneaker Room. Today, guys, we are blessed with some guests. Fellas, what's up? What's new? And how you feeling?
Doing good, man. I'm obviously not the guest, but we've got three other people here. We're doing a round table, so let's go. Let's have everybody introduce themselves.
Absolutely.
Let's start with Jwill.
Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Williams. I go by Jwill on my social media. Is Jwill, walk it, talk it.
What's good, everybody? Is Dwayne Jordan, also known as Kicksmusicart. You can find me everywhere at Kicksmusicart.
And Joe, you can find me at Higherlxng on pretty much all platforms. And glad to be a part of this discussion.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Just some insight for the listeners and the people watching. This is a very special episode of Soul Brothers. I know we usually keep it light. We really don't talk politics. We don't really step out of the realm of sneakers, but today we will. We will be talking about the culture that we love the most, the sneaker and the black culture. So, but before we get started that, we're still going to do our same thing as in what we wore on feet. So who wants to start?
Earlier I had my Salehi Crocs on, but
all right,
it's the regular Crocs now. So I ain't, y'all got it.
What color Salehis you have on?
The black joints.
The black ones?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jwill, what'd you have on today?
So it was raining a little bit, but kind of went with the Adidas AE1 Ascent. That marble on there, it goes, and with that kind of plastic, it's kind of water resistant. So
yes, sir. Kicksmusicart, what'd you wear today?
All right, guys. Today I wore the Cool Kai's 2020s. I wore everything I got on is black on today. So yeah, black on brands for the whole month, pretty much.
I love it. Flex, what you wear today?
Again, I went with the Air Max Plus Voltage Purple. Again, the Air Max Plus is one of my favorite Nike silhouettes. Comfortable, stylish. You know, that's how we get it done. Stylish and comfort.
That's a real roadman shoe right there.
Hey.
What I wore today was the Adidas and Packer Intimidation Low. Yeah, these are really, really cool. These might be my most worn of the year so far. So
you came with a crazy pair right there. I can't even lie.
Yeah, these are fire. You can still find them on Packer too, on Packer shoes. Mm-hmm. These and the black pair. So definitely a dope shoe.
I like it. So again, like I said, this is a special episode. We really wanted to talk about sneaker culture and also, you know, black culture, which we kind of always connect the two. There's a lot of things going on within sneakers, things that's going on within the community that I would like to use this platform to discuss. I have handpicked you guys to bring your insight on these questions that we're going to be talking about. And one of the first things I wanted to talk about, because I feel everybody has their own opinion about this, was the month of February. I love that we have our own month, but do we feel that we can rebuild, you know, and preserve and save the black community within just 1 month? I feel like this 1 month should set us up to continue throughout those next 10 months. But you guys let me know.
I like that. Yes,
I agree with you.
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Kicksmusicart. Go ahead.
My bad. But yeah, Flex, I definitely agree with you. If anything, February should be a month that we use to set up the community for the rest of the month. The rest of the year, to, you know, push or pursue goals. One thing I would say is, for me, I celebrate Black History every day, pretty much. Majority of my closet is black owned brands, and even like a lot of the personal items I use, like my deodorant, is Play Pits. I have like this loofah type thing from like Ghana. So it's like I try to support as much or as many black businesses as possible. Shoot, my whole outfit, like from the hat all the way down to the shoes on my feet, is all black on.
Give us a rundown. We need a rundown.
All right, rundown. Mifflin on the top. This jacket is a Alan Onaya Macy's collab from like some years back. The hoodie is my homegirl Liv, just living. The jeans, the denim is, I don't know if y'all can really see it, Reeves Paris, but it's a brand by David Weeks. And then I showed you guys the Kais. Shoot, even some of my fragrances. I wore a fragrance today by H&Co.
My question is, I've never really interpreted Black History Month as being the month where we like get ourselves right and all this other stuff. I just think it's a celebration of the Black people of the past who have gotten us to where we're at today. So I've never really thought about Black History Month as being like all right, this is where we're gonna this is where we're gonna like make things work, right? I feel like it's. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I live in Indiana, and a lot of Black History Month for me is spent listening to people who don't look like us say they don't even understand why there is a Black History Month. So it becomes kind of a distraction for me because like I got to deal with those people in my life more than anything.
Yeah. It's a novelty. It's like Halloween in October. It's just something that for a lot of people. And I feel like that's a lot of people's general consensus is like, all right, that's what this month is. Let's get this over so we get to St. Patrick's Day or whatever is coming next. But I do like the idea Flex mentioned saying that we should really utilize the month to set us up for future gains. And I really think that's a wise way to set up February in general. For just everybody. I mean, people of color, people that don't see color or whatever, however you say it. I think everybody should use some time as a reset to build for the year. You know, many people do it in December for the start of the new year, but yeah, for Black folks, I definitely think we should take the month to reflect, definitely, because if you don't learn your past, you're going to relive it, but also set yourself up to boom for the rest of the year, to kill it for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Be intentional. That's really what I'm trying to be intentional about your Black History Month.
So what are some things you guys do to celebrate Black History Month? I know Kicksmusicart is talking about he's wearing head to toe Black owned clothing brands, and I know you do that year round. And I know Kicksmusicart you've done in the past where you've spotlighted a Black creator or a Black clothing brand or Black clothing brand owner over the month of February.
This month, Kicks and Legacy. So we talk about
Kicks and Legacy.
Kicks, designers, just anybody of that's Black that is doing something, clothes, home goods, whatever. Just highlight them and what they've been doing.
Yeah. So what are some other things that you guys do for yourselves and your own brand to celebrate Black History Month?
For me, just be Black. That's how I do it.
100%.
Be black every day. And I try to just promote my Blackness and the Black experience that I'm living, and uplift and inspire other black people. Like it truly is just about being myself. Like, you know, I remember when I first started doing my podcast, or like just by the way I speak, by the way I talk, you know, like it's always like, oh yeah, like you got an accent, or, you know, speaking like that, you know, it's off-putting to people. So it made me lean into it even more, just being myself. And then when I do see other initiatives like Kicksmusicart or like Jolisa has the Black History Month Kicks of the Day.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I see things like that, like I see people that are actually doing, especially in this space, like initiatives like that, I try my best to support that because it be some really good themes. Like even with Dwayne and what he did with my favorite one so far has been about Wilson Smith. Um, that was it's stuff like that. Like there are people that know how to tell the history and the information, articulate it much better than me. I may know it, but the people that know how to articulate it and put it together, like I try to champion that. And then just during Black History Month, it's like a little boost. You just feel it because so many people, you just feel this boost of energy from all of us. And I just try to do the things I do every day. Try to promote blackness. Try to promote not try, but because I am
Yeah.
black, but just try my best to be as supportive and um supportive to our people. That's really my mission every day.
Yeah. Jwill, you got anything to add to that, bro?
Yeah. Black History Month to me, in that aspect of what I try to do is, first off, I soak it in. I'm inspired by everything that has happened before me, is currently happening, and is in works to happen in the future. So really tapping in and sharing those with my platform that I think are doing some dope things, as well as trying to focus on looking into and learning more that I didn't know, that I can educate a peer, a friend, or my platform. So that's kind of what, just more intentional in the month of February.
Absolutely.
And I work at HR, so I've worked in DE&I. I know that's been an initiative and it's been cutting, but really utilizing in that month of February, correlating, because the thing about Black History Month that is why we need it and we will continuously need it is sometimes we don't get the imagery. A lot of times we don't get the imagery of what we do, right? Even in the sneaker community, when we talk about some of the top designers, a name will be mentioned, but there's imagery for other people's names. Right. So that imagery is important, because a name, if there's no picture, it can be erased, right? It can just be a name. But the inspiration of knowing that that name looked like me or looked like my kids, to allow them to know that that is something you can aspire to be, is important. So trying to provide that imagery in my social platform for those who are there to hear, look, see. I just want to inspire others through things that inspire me as being Black.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it's important for all of us to remember that people, like, our job, and I've said this before, but I feel like our job as content creators is to inspire the next generation, whether it's sneakers or whether it's anything else. And it helps that we have that, we're going to really influence the next generation, the ones who look like us, or they're going to be inspired just by the fact that we look like them. And that could be that little boost right there to get them to pick up the camera, or not even that, but like, maybe go to school, or, work hard, anything like that. So I think it's important that we have creators that look like us speaking on things that we've made popular.
Yeah.
And to add, to jump in and just to co-sign what you just said, like when I first started creating, I was like, well, who's the big dogs? You're doing your research. Who's the big dogs currently in the market? And who's in the past? And man, it felt so good to see Tony D from Atlanta be up there with Harrison Neville, be doing collaborations with all the big dogs. So I really tuned into his content and really gave me a boost early on finding my content. And now I work with them. Now we're talking all the time. So it's a full circle moment for me to see someone that really said I could do it. Like, I can't make an excuse to say, well, nobody Black is getting those numbers. I was able to see someone that was consistent with content and put it out at a high level and was able to reap the benefit and inspire because of his artwork.
Now, I will say, and maybe we'll talk about this type of thing a little later, but Tony D. Too Wild, we bring up Tony D and Harrison Neville, but Tony D. Too Wild was doing this, I think, a lot longer at a high level than Harrison Neville was.
He was.
And he was, I feel like Tony D had to grind to get where he's at. I remember what his videos looked like when his locks were short. And Harrison Neville felt like he just he was doing some clothing hauls, and the next thing I know, he's doing sneakers, and then he's getting $10,000 mystery boxes from companies. So, it seems like an uphill battle for Tony D. Too Wild, where he, kind of cleared the way, and then Harrison Neville's able to kind of coast behind him.
Yeah, I like to say that I kind of want to lean towards what Joe was speaking on when he said, what do you do to celebrate Black history? And it's just being Black. Everyone in this room right here, you are Black history. You're Black, and you're creating something, new. You're doing something that someone hasn't did, or you upgrading something that someone has done. And like I just feel like Black History Month can be like a crutch. It kind of just holds us over, you seeing all these people reposting Black culture, Black content, Black creators, but I want to see that all year long. I don't want to wait till February to see Rosa Parks on a billboard. Why can't she be on there in August? She did something great, or someone created something. They just didn't create it in February. They created it in March, April, May, June, July, August, September. And I just feel like there's way too much Black history to put it in 1 month, and that's why I'd rather use that as a way that we can okay, let's see how we can continue this Black History Month and make it the entire year, because I feel like this kind of goes into the next topic. I feel like we create a ceiling when we put it all in just 1 month or 1 day or one social media or one platform, one awards, because it's always the first or the only Black, and I think we all grew up on the BET Awards, right? But we know a BET Award doesn't hold the same weight as a Grammy or Oscar does. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why, like, when we try to aim for these Black only things or try to push our culture to be just single by itself, it doesn't really make it grow. It kind of controls it and contains it, because it's not as big if you don't open up these things to the people around it or the people that's in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a challenging take, right? Because through the Black struggle, we would say being to ourselves or creating our own ethos is really the full circle nourishment. But we can devalue it because, again, if we're talking about as a business, I am trying to raise my stock so I can raise my price. So like a BET, if the corporate America that's going to give me a charging of my price, the validation of that award does not raise my price 10,000, 50,000, but a Grammy does, then I'm going to hold a Grammy up high just because I am trying to raise my price. Especially, if I'm not looking out for the brand, I'm just creating business with a brand. So that is a challenging viewpoint. And we see it in hip hop, and most people become bigger than that. Like, I know we've seen stuff with Kanye West, and we can't, I don't want to dive into that political aspect, but at some point he became so big where he doesn't see himself he probably doesn't see himself as black. He sees himself as Kanye West. And yes, as individuals, we all have a soul related to who we are. But we're in America where if we are not rich and famous, we are going to be told right away that we're black by how someone reacts to us saying hello.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to worry about that because everybody's clamoring to say hello to him or to hear from him or be in his space. And that's not the same for us. So he has recently been moving on his own ideology of himself, and he's not reflecting on how it can hurt us, which really hurts me because as a black kid, he was someone I identified with in hip hop culture because I was not, in the streets. I didn't have that tie, so he was somebody that I felt like I could relate to.
Mm-hmm.
So it hurts me to see what he's become because of his success and his influence.
So let me ask you, said something about raising your brand and raising the price. So right now, and Flex said I could talk politics. So right now, a lot of companies have started breaking up their, like Target, for example, has started, they've stopped doing their diversity programs and their DEI programs, and they didn't even have to. But with the precedent being set by Presidents Trump and Musk, are these companies, even though they will raise your stock and raise your price, are these companies that we would still want to work with or work for, even if they are putting us on the back burner?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I can jump into this one real quick, but I'll let. Okay, so importance, right? Like handling business, we're handling business, right? Like what's the line from Jay-Z? Know how to move in a room full of vultures, right? So in that aspect, I am upset where a company will dial back on something that is supposed to benefit access to me, but working in HR, and if everybody was able to see really what the numbers look like across the board, the biases across the board, DE&I helped us, but also it helped a lot of other people drastically. Yeah. It's going to hurt us. That is gone because we get less help. But I think it's going to hurt some other people more than they thought. Where we are used to being hurt, so we can kind of keep rolling with the punches. But
we're seeing that already. I mean, they're rolling back DEI, and a lot of people who voted for Trump found out that they were DEI hires. It's not people who look like us.
Instant karma.
So go ahead, keep going, Jwill.
So it's tricky because how social media, how we know we play in social media, it is hyper sensitive. So by that meaning, you have to take a stand, and there's no stand, I think, in this, because yes, whatever successfully I'm able to put out, I'm thankful that I'm able to put it out, but I want the level of access that everyone else has. So I don't want to feel like I have a book bag of rocks in there while somebody else has the whole sprinting gear ready to run, and I got a book bag of rocks with, no shoes on, trying to run the same race. So I want the additional support that puts me in place. But the challenge is, again, it becomes a hot topic where we will go to different stats to utilize of why it doesn't benefit us. It benefits us, right? Mm-hmm. With a company that has that means they're making some form of initiative to help us so it can increase our demographics, at least percentage wise, even if we're not the main beneficiary. So I would never want it to go. But
Yeah.
if someone does take it away, I'm not going to not do business with them unless I'm going to directly do business with Black people. So I'm not going to run to another brand that has a program, because if you really want to see if the program's working, say, let me see your executive levels and let me see how many Black people hold those positions.
Yeah.
Not, oh yeah, we have the program, they don't have a program. If I'm going to be upset and I'm going to take my money elsewhere, I'm going to go buy Black. I'm not going to go to another corporation that is using that as a marketing tool, just like the world uses Christianity for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's a marketing tool to attract a buyer base through data that they do for all holidays. Valentine's Day is coming up. Is a marketing tactic for a demographic. That's how the calendar is set up. From January to December is based off economics and selling. So yeah.
Dwayne, were you going to add
I
something?
like. You go ahead,
Yeah.
Dwayne.
Well, I'll keep mine short. So like, to kind of go off of what y'all was saying, like, would we stop dealing with this brand and if they roll back their DEI? And I know, just like Jwill said, like, it's affecting more than Black people, and it's affecting them way more than Black people. And Target specifically, I'm a little upset only because, you know, they've been doing their Black History, they do like a collection. They have some in-house Black designers that I typically buy, and then they do a collection every Black History Month. And so next year, I was already working on trying to be a part of their collection next year. I wanted to do an apparel collection and also a piece of footwear. But when that happened, I just felt like, as a whole, yes, I know it could probably put me on, but I also, like, don't play in my face. Like, I feel like you spit in my face. So I personally don't want to, I am not continuing that, that progress. And I could be setting myself back. Who knows? I know, what's for me is for me. And with that coming to the forefront, I feel like, you know what? It happened for a reason. And I'm going to just keep moving and working on my own stuff.
No, I was just gonna say for me, it's I look one of my brothers, he hate when I say this, but that's just how I am. Like, it's all about the context of it. It's so easy to get outraged with certain stuff, and it's also easy to be indifferent. And so it's really the gray area that you have to operate in. Like the case with Target, that was crazy. I mean, because Target has been playing. I mean, let me just. All companies play on us. All
Yeah.
companies prey on us. Most companies prey on us. I'm gonna say most. Most companies prey on us, right? So, you know, it's like okay, but then like Target, the way Target has been champion Black creatives and Black business owners, that that was more of a, it's like, I say this phrase, shock not surprised. Like, I wasn't surprised, but it was shocking for Target to do that. And so like a Target, I probably wouldn't. Like, I probably, just because of how you presented yourself, and at the very first moment that you had an out, you took that out.
Yeah.
You didn't even give it a chance. You didn't even let it breathe for
We didn't even
a
have
year.
to.
So right, you didn't let it breathe for a year, 2 years. You didn't let anything happen. You just said, "Boom, oh, cool, right, all right, we out of here."
Yeah.
And so
It's almost like
that's
they were like, huh.
a sigh of
That was
relief. Yeah, it
close.
was right. And so like the context, like with Target, bet, all right, I'ma holla at you. I'm good. But then the context of it, the way this stuff is set up, the system, the infrastructure, this stuff, the way this country is set up, you boycott everything. We outside.
Yeah.
We outside. We have no clothes. We have no nothing. Like if we were, let's be radical about it. If you really want to boycott some stuff, these lights, we gotta turn these lights off.
Mm-hmm.
These computers, get these devices up out of here. Like, let's get it up out of here.
Turning that
And
Tessie.
so I know that's extreme, but I'm just saying,
But
like,
it's true.
when we're talking about boycotting, I just want us to be a little bit more tactful, and I want us to take it offline.
Mm-hmm.
It was somebody that said something the other day, and it's something I've been feeling like, yeah, let's be mad, let's be outraged, let's be upset. But let's like, if we gonna do it, we ain't gotta do this shit online. We ain't gotta talk about the plan online.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it. Let's meet up like we used to, and let's find ways to communicate it. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we do that, that's another way the companies prey on us: emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Because emotions is what keep us going. The media loves the emotions, to prey upon the emotions of Black people, and we're very sensitive people. We're very emotional people. We're very passionate people, and they prey on that. And so, like I
One
said,
thing I
it's
say you
about
forgot,
context.
we're very forgiving.
We're
We're very
but I don't
forgiving.
have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with that.
Sometimes it's to
Like,
our detriment.
I know they talk. I know, like, that'd be a thing that be said. Like, we're very forgiving. That is a strength of ours. But at the same time, it's like my grandmother say: you can forgive, but you ain't gotta forget.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
a
know what I'm
Right.
fact.
saying?
Like that. Like that.
And is with that forgiveness, you can keep it pushing. You ain't, and I think that's where the issue comes. You forgive, and then you get back in the fold with whatever it is that
Yep.
harmed you.
Mhm.
Forgive, but all right, watch how I move now.
Yeah.
So it's just the context. Like what Target did, that's good.
Right.
That was
Right.
insane.
But
Yeah.
just to jump in, we talking about Target, but Walmart was first, and Walmart employs more Black people than Target, and
One
keeps
shocked
us
or
in a
surprised
certain
with them.
space. Go in there and see how many managers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Mm-hmm.
they jumped on it first.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were the thing is with economics, it's about the big dog. When a big dog make a decision, everybody else that's under kind of just falls in line. So by that first domino was Walmart. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
we're upset with Target, but Walmart employs us. We shop more at Walmart than we do Target, but we're outraged about Target.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think
I
that was just the example.
I
I
feel
think
like
Target was just the example, but you're right, 100%. Go
I
ahead, Flex.
I feel like we got to take a step back when we're talking about the businesses, because at the end of the day, these are businesses. So honestly, you really can't take anything they do personal, because you got to understand, Target is for Target. Target is not
Yep.
built for the Black community. Target is not there for the Black community. Target was not owned and started by a Black owned person. So for Target to do that, it's just like, you gotta treat a snake like a snake. You ain't gotta disrespect them. You ain't gotta, but you gotta treat a snake like a snake. I know that's a snake. So when I hear these things about Walmart, I mean, I worked for Walmart for almost 10 years, and when I hear these things, it don't surprise me. It don't surprise
That
when I
part.
hear the
Right.
when I hear
I,
these things about Target. It don't surprise me, because when we had the whole Black owned era and Black Lives Matter, you know what those businesses did? They took that and they marketed it. Oh, look,
and that's
we got a whole
and that's the
tab
point.
that's Black owned. We got a whole tab Black owned. Now you got
That's the
a
point.
Black owned tab, and
Yep.
people were, oh my God, congratulations! I'm so glad that Target did that, and I'm sitting there looking at like, oh, that you just making money off me again. You making money like you've always
Mm-hmm.
done again off
Yep.
us. I mean, when you hear lower prices, what do you think? What community you think that's towards? When you hear lower prices, you know what I'm saying? We know what community that's directed to. So when you hear these things about Walmart doing it, that has we are Walmart, because we all know that people say, "Oh, I'd rather shop at Target instead of Walmart," and we know why that is, because
Yep.
those are they're put into the black communities because the black communities go there because we see lower prices. We know why those are there. Walmart is just like another liquor store or another convenience store. And we all
Hmm.
shopped at Walmart, and nothing against that. Because I feel like in some cases, Morgan, to what you said about still working with these brands, do we have a choice? Do like
Mm.
and
I'm
like
talking about
Joseph,
collaborating. I'm talking about
but I'm saying,
collaborating.
but do we have a choice though? Like, look at it. The three richest
Yes.
men in the world are not black. So should I turn down the opportunity to work with one of them because they're not black? When this could create generational wealth for me and my family that I could pass on to other people within. I'm not saying I gotta go up there, oh praise, oh man, you're so great. I'm not saying that. But
Hmm.
this man is in places that I've never seen or may never see. So I would love to get that knowledge. But I'm not saying that I agree with everything
Um.
you do or everything that you say, but there's definitely something you can learn.
Yeah. I appreciate your point of view. I disagree. Um. I I think that if a company is going to go out of their way to
Mm-hmm.
basically throw, even if what they're doing is performative
Mhm.
for black people, if they're going to at the first sign that things are changing in the country, they flip flop. That's not a brand I can work with. I'm not looking at trying to make money with
Partner
people
with.
who, right, because I'm gonna be real with you. I've y'all know I coach tennis. I was in marching band, right? um I have always been one of the good ones for my entire life, and I'm not trying to continue to be one of the good ones because you know they say that. That's not, you know what I'm saying, like, um that's just how I feel. I don't think I can work with a brand who can, um stop sell, just, it's not even that they have to celebrate Black History Month, but like the fact that they just flipped so fast,
I mean,
right? That shows something different. I don't care if you
yeah,
celebrate it. I don't care if you don't celebrate it. But like, you flipped just because things were getting a little, um because we got a new regime in the White House. You flipped. That shows what your character is.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
but again,
yeah.
I feel like that's one of those things that's been going on for years. If you notice, whenever there's an election, companies stop buying things because they don't know how taxes are going to change. They don't know how new laws and new bills are going to be put in. Business do business things. So like I
hmm
don't take those things personal. But let's say one of you guys opened up a business after we done had this conversation, and then y'all flip the script. I take that personal.
but you can
You know, because
choose who you work with, though. You can choose who you work with.
but
You know what I'm
but
saying?
Target is not part of the black community. So they have no reason to do right by me. And I don't hold that
I
for
feel
them.
that.
I don't, but the people that are part of this community, yes, I hold them accountable for certain things. I hold you accountable when you take pictures with certain people, when you do certain things, when you show more love to certain people than the other people within your community. Yes, I hold them accountable, but Target is Target. Target is not a black owned business. Target is not just for us. So I don't take that personal.
Nah,
But
but
I don't praise them as
Target
well either.
but Target is an American business, and black people are in the fabric of America. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that, I don't know. And same thing with Walmart, right? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I just feel like if they would have just done nothing, that's cool, right?
That's it.
But it's the fact that there was an
Intentionally
action,
and let it be known.
that they made an action, whether they're part of the black community or not, is whatever. But like, we're all, like, it is an American company, and we are Americans, and they are intentionally going against, I don't even know what the right word is, but like, they're going against
They're showing
part,
their true colors.
right,
It's
to Americans. I mean, if they want to say it's not a black or white thing, it's but it's we're still Americans, and that is the portion of America who they're not. It's clear they've shown that they're not rocking with.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
let
we
me
don't
jump on
fuck with
this.
y'all.
I do want to add something about Target from just a little bit of research. Atomic Habits is a great book just talking about why people do what they did. And they had a buying segment where they're talking about how stores sell to people. And Target is very data analytics. They learned a lot in, I think, the 80s or late 90s of registries. They realized they were able to keep shoppers by starting with the baby atmosphere because it created a focus point and made someone become kind of a lifetime shopper with Target. So they are very data driven, and they probably looked at the data and saw that they got a market share of this diverse group, and they saw, especially I think they got a lot of backlash last year during Pride because they probably went one of the hardest, which makes it even crazier when you thinking, Morgan, of how they're rolling back DE&I. They got backlash, and that they're looking at the data saying, okay, we now want to get this group. Right. So they're looking to get different groups, and they're attacking their beginning of the year as what group do we not have and how do we get it? And their data is showing them that if they lost this percentage but gained this percentage, they'll probably make more money. And that's, from what you said, Flex, their business. They're trying to be in the green. They're not trying to be in the red. But yeah, morals comes down. I love Morgan, you standing on business. And I love Flex, you thinking about preserving for your family. The main thing is, I say, if you do the business, you got, as a black person, so you're not used as a token, you got to figure out how to be black in it and help others with that access of information and money. Otherwise, you will be considered a pony to say, we got you over here because we know we can pay you and you're going to come do the dance.
Lex said he going to do the dance if the price is right.
Everybody's got a price, and it's hard because
but I feel like Morgan is seeing it as like, you selling now, but
nah, not at all.
You got
like that.
You got to understand, it's all business at the end of the day. You know, if I was to sign a contract right now with Target for the podcast, we want to sponsor y'all podcast. No, there is not an inch of me in my body would think, oh man, they're helping us because we're black. Yes. No.
But
listen. So they're doing it as a business aspect. They're doing it based off views, demographics, all. They're not doing it because these are two black men that are successful and they're doing this. No, I don't see it that way. And I don't view them that way. I see it as we're doing business. So that's how I'm going to treat it. So if they do something out the way, I'm not going to be like, oh man, that really hurt my feelings, man. I thought y'all were different. I didn't.
No, it's not about that. It's not about that. I'm a big people over profit guy. I
don't think it's all equated to feelings either.
Yeah, it's not about feelings. I'm gonna tell you like this:
that's not the real world, though. That's not the real world, though. That's not the real world. People over profit. No, it's not. That's not how the world works. I wish it did, but let's be honest, it's not that.
I can control my own decisions. I can control my own decisions to make it so that I can. Wait. I can control my own decisions and say I'm not going to work with a company who is so blatantly against, right? Like, I understand. I know that there is always an undertone of racism in every aspect of American culture, if not world culture. I know that, right? But what I'm saying is what Walmart and Target did was so blatant that they are companies that I wouldn't want to work with. That's just the reality.
Okay.
I'm not gonna work with companies who are blatant about polluting, right? Like, I'm not gonna work with companies who aren't trying to solve problems, right? Like, if let's talk about this. If Kanye West were to approach us and say he wanted to be on the podcast, right? What is your answer to that, Flex?
I've never liked Kanye West, and the way I grew up. The way I grew up, when you start playing with God and Jesus and calling yourself Jesus and stuff, that was an automatic.
Time
You
out.
done.
Time out. But there's business.
Exactly.
That's business.
That would
Hold
put
on.
us. That would help.
That would help. And
Kanye?
you going off feelings.
That
That's
is
feelings.
No.
You going off of
But Kanye is Kanye right now. Kanye.
no time out. You going off
Kanye.
feelings.
Kanye.
You said business is big. That's what I was. You said business is business. Let's get to the business. Let's put these feelings
But-
out of here.
But Kanye, what is Kanye? What could Kanye do for us?
Whoa.
Oh, you do you? Oh,
No, I'm asking the question.
I mean, ain't nobody
Whoa.
in sneakers. Ain't nobody had bigger influence outside of Jordan than him. Ain't nobody. I mean, ain't nobody brought that much money in for a brand.
especially Kanye right now. Now it's gonna be bad publicity.
It's crack. Yeah,
But
crash out
especially
Kanye.
Kanye right now on the podcast right now. What is? Hey, you got the
nah.
audience you want
if he
to
said
have.
my
Hey,
first,
it's business.
my first
It's business,
words
Flex.
on
Hey, you're a
are so
businessman.
fucking
You're a
hard.
The
businessman,
audience
Flex.
about to.
Boy, you have
Hey.
a million subscribers
No.
tomorrow.
You're a businessman,
But
Flex.
I will have a million subscribers of the wrong audience. No, bro.
No, we taking feelings and bit. We look. It's not personal. It's no feelings. It's bit. Let's get straight to the business.
It's just business.
Now, wait. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's go. Let's step back. Now, what was your question? Morgan? What was
My question?
That was his question.
No.
my
Say
question.
what was the question? To be on the podcast or just support the podcast?
If Kanye West were to ask to be on the podcast, sponsor the podcast, whatever, what would the answer be? Either one.
Oh, if he asked to be on the podcast, I'll let him be on it. I'll let him be on it.
That's not what
Yeah.
I said.
No.
That's not what I said.
Then what did you say?
Boy, you
That's
started
not what
talking
you
about.
said.
You started talking about he playing with God, and you said off the rip when you was on the bottle, you wasn't.
That one said like I don't see Kanye as that savior as everybody else do.
No, we're not saying that. We're not saying that. We're saying, go ahead.
All right, what are you saying? Well, no, I'm saying, what are you
I'll
saying?
let you save yourself. Go ahead.
No, I want to see what
saying
you're saying
that-
so I can.
We are making decisions based on what our morals are. At least I'm trying to make decisions based on what my values are. And that has just been, that's how I operate, right? That's one of the reasons I don't make as much content and I'm working with the kids more at the tennis club, right? Like that is what I believe is more important to me right now, right? Now, that's not the same equivalency. That's not the same thing. But what I'm saying is that me personally, I make decisions based off of what my values are, not what's going to help my pocket.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Kanye and Target?
Oh,
one's part of the black community, one's not. So when Kanye,
that was something I wanted to talk about. That's something I wanted to talk about because you said that earlier, right?
Good. That's good.
I want to ask you this question. This is what I want to ask you, Flex, for real.
Go ahead.
So I'm all about a standard, right? Having a standard. And I think Morgan said a very good term in value. Like what your it's not. I don't think everybody makes decisions based on feelings. It's based on value. A lot of people make decisions based on values. How you form those values, that's a different story. It's all a journey, right? Based on environment, family, proximity, whatever.
Bringing all that.
So, are you saying? Well, no, I'm not going to ask it that way. You said, what's the difference between Target? What's the difference between Kanye? Kanye's black, Target's not. Target is an entity. Kanye is an entity, but he's a person. Why is your how do I want to ask this question? Because I know I'm trying to formulate it in a way.
How you trying to say
So your standard.
You put a higher standard on
Why do you have so much feelings That's back to that word, feelings towards your standard of black
Mm-hmm.
people, but you don't carry that for other entities. And
I
it's
like
not
that.
about having the
I like that.
same love. I'm talking about.
I
It's
like that.
not about having the same love and respect.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I love my brother, I respect my brother. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a deeper reverence,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna carry that standard for
Mm-hmm.
other entities.
I agree.
So what shaped that for you? Like why
I
do
like
you
that.
have that?
I like that because that kind of leads into our next topic. Why do we hold expectations higher for black businessmen and black creators? Now, we're all black here, right? And even though we grew up in different walks of life, we still somewhere we can find some common ground, right? And when I look at
Mm-hmm.
Kanye and I listen to his music, he talks back and his how he feel about black people and black culture and how Bush didn't care for black people and stuff. So you finally make it up there. You finally make it to that mountaintop. You on top of it. You on top of the world. You have opportunity to help the black culture like you've always said. And you know what you did? You threw us to the side. And I hold that against him because he knows he's got that same traumas. He has that same pain that every other black man has in America. Target doesn't. Target is a business, but Kanye West is a black man, and he always will be. No matter how many people he hang with, how many billionaires he goes, he will always still be a black man. So that's why I hold him at a different expectation. Because you know what? I thought even though you might have made $1 million here, you might have had a baby by Kim Kardashian, or you might have did this, you might have did a video with this person. I still thought at the end of the day, you were a black man and you understood where we came from and you understood the plan. So when I get this deal with Target, when me and Morgan get this deal with Target, yeah, I signed that deal with Target, but you know who I'm finna bring up there with us? Jwill, you coming? Joe, you coming? Dwayne, you coming? I'm putting all y'all on the forefront. Kanye got up there and he started putting on these other people. He started throwing on these different color hats, and he forgot about who the one that put him up there, who the one that was calling him Yeezus, who was buying all his Yeezys and stuff. That's why I get upset. That's why my expectations change because never said that. Target didn't grow up in the hood. Target didn't have those black ancestors. Kanye does. Kanye had that black mother that worked hard to get him where he's at. Target didn't. Target did nothing for me.
So let me ask you this question then. Does it make it right for Target to operate that way just because Target didn't come from our same environment?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But
So
I
you're willing to
understand it.
work with Target. So, okay. Understanding, right? You
Mm-hmm.
understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Kicksmusicart
But you
forgot
are.
to pay the light bill.
He went black,
I'm
dog.
sorry, Dwayne.
Black
I'm
out.
sorry. Hey, I'm
Battery
sorry,
pack.
bro. I'm sorry.
Battery pack
so,
died.
so
I'm
you
good.
have the
Sorry, guys.
understanding. So because of the understanding, you're willing to excuse Target and not Kanye?
Let's. I got a good example
No,
for you.
hold on. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
So
Wait a minute. Wait. I got a question for
go
all
ahead,
y'all.
Flex.
Imagine if Jackie Robinson would have never played in the major leagues. And we know what the major league was before he got there. He knew he was gonna hear racial
Mm-hmm.
slurs. He knew all that. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what he said? I'm a black man. I got the opportunity to go in an all white world and change it. And that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to work with Target, even though they may have said these things, they might be an all white world or another race that's not black, I'm still gonna walk in there and I'm gonna change things. I'm gonna change things based off what I can change. May not can change Target as a whole, but that can put me in a opportunity in a space to where I can grant other opportunities for other fellow people within the community. But if Jackie Robinson would say, you know what, nah, I'm not going to play in the major leagues. They're gonna call me racial slurs. They talk about my brothers and all that other stuff. Imagine what would have happened. I mean, eventually, yeah, of course, that it would have been integrated. But
Hold on. But the major leagues wasn't talking about, oh yeah, we love black people. We celebrating Black History Month.
exactly,
I can't breathe. They
but
weren't doing that. No,
But
no,
yeah,
they
but
did it. They
Jackie
weren't doing
Robinson.
that, and
But
they flipped.
so why? So
No, you
Jackie
can't
Robinson
say
shouldn't have played.
exactly to that.
He shouldn't have played.
You can't say
Hold
exactly to
on,
that.
boy. Let him finish. Because
Now I'm
I'm
just
with you
saying.
on that.
So you
No,
saying that you
the
shouldn't work with
diff.
Target because of what they
Morgan telling
did,
you the
right?
difference.
No,
He's
I'm
Uh-huh.
telling you
telling
the
you.
difference. Major League Baseball never said, "Yeah, come on, we gonna bring you in, we gonna champion you." They never
Mm-hmm.
said that. It was
Yeah.
always what it is, and it's still that today, right?
And
Couldn't be for
Target,
us.
but time out. Target said, "Come on in, come on, my brother,
Come on,
come
hey,
on, my sister.
Wakanda
We
forever.
get you, we Wakanda, we with you, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
let's go,
yeah.
baby."
the
And
NFL
then
don't
at
do
the
that.
first time out, no, we can't keep. Hey, Flex, we stand right here with the
With Target,
subjects.
with Target.
We
Okay,
gonna stay with the subjects.
with Target.
So Target did all that, kumbaya, whatever.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Put the rug from under a lot of people's feet,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the point again is, I think that creates the ceiling that you talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that we view ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and the way that we view other entities creates the ceiling for us to grow or for us to change or for us to be free. And I ain't talking about just financially freedom. I'm talking about up here too. Because the way that we hold each other,
Mm-hmm.
there's so little grace within the black community. And then before, because I don't want shit to get misconstrued, I'm not saying this about Kanye. I'm not saying, but it was
Mhm.
something that you said earlier that brought me back here. When you said it was something
Mm-hmm.
about if a black business would have did that, if one of us opened if one of us opened the business today and we flipped, you would be upset with us. You would have personal feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what brought me here because it's just like I get the standard and I get that's putting your feelings and emotions into it because we're
Mm-hmm.
black. Black. I love it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna ride hard for us and we're just gonna say business is business with the other entities. Don't you think that's built into the system? That's been built
So
into the system.
that's what
True.
I'm saying. My love is for you. My passion is for you. So my anger, of course, is going to be towards you because
And
we
I'm
we.
asking you, how does that make that? What I'm saying is there another perspective that you can have?
Mm-hmm.
Is there another perspective that you could have to still have that anger and hold me accountable as another black man,
Mm-hmm.
right? But still have that same accountability for another entity that's not black. That's what I'm asking you. Is there another perspective to where you could be angry and be like, "Yeah, nah, Joe fucked up. I ain't fucking with Joe no more because he black. He know how it go. He know how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
And even though this other entity don't know how hard it is, don't know about the struggle, don't know about none of this shit that we talking about or we experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not
Yeah.
firsthand. They read
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They researched about it. Can we not still hold them accountable and have a standard towards them? That's the only thing I'm asking. Be mad at me. I
I
fucked
get
up.
you. I
I
get
flip. I flip. Hey, flip.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
nah, black, whatever. Then I come out and I'm like, man, I got this business, white people only. I only want whites, Hispanics, Asians, whatever. I ain't fucking
Yeah.
with black people.
you.
I come out. I'm not black.
Yeah.
You know, on some
I feel
OJ
like
shit, right?
I'm not
I
black.
feel
I'm
like it's
OJ.
like you watch
Yeah. Moj.
it's like you watch Django Unchained, right? And only being mad at Samuel L. Jackson's character and not being mad at Leonardo DiCaprio's
Yeah.
character,
Right.
Facts.
right?
And that's what.
You can be mad at both of them for different reasons, but
Yes,
you can be
yes,
mad at both of them.
yes, yes,
They're both
yes,
villains. They're both villains,
yes.
but they're
Facts.
villains for
Pretty much
different
should
And
be the
reasons.
same.
that's why I say that thinking creates the ceiling. And
Hmm.
Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
that was the easy, simple. Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody
Because
walked out the movie theater to fuck Samuel, but you
the
ain't say nothing about
But you
Leonardo
ain't say nothing about
DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
but also the psychology of how Samuel became Samuel in that position. He was
Mm-hmm.
able to get benefits monetarily of being on the horse, being in the
Because he went
house.
to Target.
Like he's getting benefits that makes
He
him say,
stayed with
"Hey,
Target.
this is
He
He
helping my
stayed with
stayed with
lineage.
Target.
Target.
I'd
Yeah.
rather, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mess with Target. They're
So
gonna give
that
me the money."
and see and then that's the thing. So now if he would have went in there and I don't want to get too violent, so I'm gonna have to take this part
Yeah.
out, and he would have master instead of working for the master, we might have could have respected that character. But what I'm saying is Kanye, let's say he went to Target and he stayed with Target. He didn't do nothing. He continued to help grow Target, but didn't grow no plan. If I was ever to get somewhere, right? and all you see me, let's say I blow up out of, and I've had these talks, and yeah, if you listen to the pod, I'm always talking about black this, black culture, and things of that nature. And then all you see is me, everything that's not for it. You're gonna be a little more angry at me because you share that love and passion as a fellow black man. That's what I'm saying. It's not that I'm saying that Target is right. It's not saying that I'm not mad at Target, but it's just a simple fact. I don't expect nothing from Target because Target is a business. But you guys are black men, and y'all know the troubles, y'all know the struggles, y'all know the traumas. So if y'all get up there and y'all get to start saying yes, math, then it's different, because it's kind of like, bro, you know where you came from, and you got up there at the mountaintop, and yet instead of bringing us with you, you start pushing us off. Oh, nah, I'm the only one for Massa. No, only me, Massa.
So
I
then,
got you, Massa.
Yeah.
so well, what that means is, but what I'm saying is, we don't have to work. We don't have to work with Calvin Candy, bro. Like we don't
Market,
have just because.
my question is, who else will we work with?
What you mean?
If we can't work with none of these brands that we say are not supporting the black culture or anything like that,
No, no, that's not. No,
who?
if you go back, when you go back and edit this, listen to what I said, bro. I said we are not going to work with people who played in our face at first, right? They were so welcoming
Mm-hmm.
to us,
Mhm.
and that flipped like that,
Mhm.
right? Like
Well,
I
you
said
gotta
earlier. Wait, hold on.
I
What I
got
said earlier was I go into situations with an expectation of underlying racism, right? That's just it's
We all
systemic,
It's just
do.
what it
right?
is.
It is
Yeah.
what it is. I'm not saying that we don't that we the difference between what Walmart and Target did, and then a company like Foot Locker, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Foot Locker not owned by black people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
But the difference between what Walmart and Target did and what Foot Locker did, or what Foot Locker has or hasn't done, right, is that Foot Locker, while they embrace us with their marketing and all that other stuff, they haven't switched on us so quickly. They haven't switched on us. They haven't, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not taking an action that is so I mean, there is
Blatant.
a message there. They took an action and that sends a message. You
Yep.
see what I'm saying? That's what the difference is. Does that make sense? They're taking an action that sends a message that they do not rock with not just black people, but all diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah. And to
Yeah.
jump in on that, right? Like from the HR hat that I'm looking at and being in some of these rooms, is it's people that made this decision. It's not a business that made this decision.
Yeah.
It's a collective of top
Of
level people that
Mhm.
Yeah.
made the decision to say, hey, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And we may have the analytics to show that the big backlash, but we're riding because, again, we're
Yeah.
cool with not being the first domino. You're not
We
the
gonna
first.
So
we gonna get MAGA, but we gonna lose the black folks. We gonna lose some of them, but we gonna lose most of them except Flex. But we gonna gain MAGA.
but my
So
but my but,
Yeah.
but my question is, so if like Jwill said, these are upper management having these conversations in these rooms. So my question to you, Morgan, how do we get in those rooms? If we never make any contact with these, you'll never change it, because there is no one from our community that's in those rooms to give that point of
if
view.
Oh, I want to give some roses real quick. And this is because I've came from your side and put a lot of emphasis on someone because they were black and I thought they should do better, but I didn't see the master plan. I didn't see the full blueprint. And that is Tyler Perry. I was very critical as a young man of him because I felt like he leaned into caricatures. Sorry, I messed up that word, but caricatures so much that it made me upset. But to see where he is now, I mean, that's the plan. If he able to leverage something to build something for us and he's employing us, and now he's not even doing that type of content really anymore, and he's employing us and he's telling stories, and and it was all to get to that. Well,
Doing what
dang,
you
I
gotta
didn't see
do
the picture because
to
I
get to
wasn't
the top.
supposed to. So I want to give him his flowers because I was super critical of him as a young man, and I didn't want to support Medea, and I didn't want to do a lot of stuff because I was like, man, he guy's looking like this, and he just playing on this. But he saw what he was trying to create for us.
Yeah.
And my hat goes off to him because I was very critical as a young man on him. So that's somebody that is in the room. He's got his own studio. You know what I'm saying? He don't need nothing from nobody else.
Yeah.
Back to Flex's question though. I'm sorry, Dwayne. Just real quick. Back to Flex's question. That's how do we get in those rooms? Well, we're not going to get in them as content creators. That's that we're not getting in those rooms as content creators, bro.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you're in a position, if we're ever, because it's not going to be me and you who make those changes. Like, we're not getting in the rooms of Target and Walmart, even if we work with them as content creators and a podcast, or whatever. We're not getting in those rooms. So
Why do you feel that we're not capable of being in those rooms?
Yeah, your voice is loud, Morgan. That voice that you say, even if it sounds like a whisper, can tear down a wall.
What room
I
are y'all
wouldn't let
talking
you
about,
minimize yourself to say, even if you just gave your viewpoint in a meeting, that doesn't change someone's mind. That could affect a bigger decision, 6 months from now with an organization. You have that much power and you're viewed as that. And that's why a lot of people like you, because you're going to give your direct opinion. You're not going to appease people. So they're like, what we get from Morgan is really what he thinks. He don't have to work with us, but this is how he thinks. So I wouldn't want you to mute your voice ever to think that it doesn't hold enough weight to change
I'm not going to mute my voice,
business.
but I'm letting you know that my voice, I am not saving my voice for those rooms.
Gotcha.
My voice, I'm always going to talk, and whether or not I'm I'm not trying to get into those rooms. I don't care about those rooms. The room is full of people who made the decision that we are not worth celebrating, and that we're not worth, we're not worth our money.
Their bottom line
is not for them. Right?
Yeah.
They made that decision that we were, what's the word?
Expendable.
We were expendable. Thank you so much. That is the word. We are expendable. Right? So Dwayne, I cut you off earlier, Dwayne. What were you talking
good. About? This is, for me, this is what it all boils down to. Every black person has their role, right? And there are some that are going to be like, I'm just not fucking with you. That's what it is. And then there are some that are going to say, well, I'm going to build this up from the inside. And no side, if we truly look at it, is wrong, right? It's based off of what your end goal is and what your morals are, right? Like me, like I said, I do have a goal. I want to be an independent footwear designer. I also want to work for brands, but like I said, I was doing this thing with Target or for Target for next year, and I personally was like, I can't do it. There may be other people that can, and they may be able to go up through the ranks. Because I think Jwill example was perfect. Like, a lot of people, there were people that messed with Tyler Perry, and there were people that didn't, because they felt like, oh, he's doing minstrel shows pretty much. Like, he's putting on. But he knew the bigger plan. Like, if I do this long enough, I can start making the content I want to make. And I've heard that before, just in the world of content or in the world of business. If you do what it takes to get to a certain point, then you can start doing what you want to do because you have control, right? So there are some people that are going to infiltrate, if you want to use that word, infiltrate the ranks of Walmart and Target and try to rebuild or build up, and it may be for personal gain or it may be for gain as a people. But there are some people that are just going to be like, that ain't I don't have that kind of tolerance. everybody know me, like, and I'm talking about me now. Everybody know me as a pretty chill person, but I can be a hothead, and I know, like, you play in my face and disrespect me, it's all out the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Hmm.
I don't tolerate that. Like, I won't tolerate that. So I cannot personally align myself with a brand like Target because I'm not going to have you spit in my face.
Yeah.
But there are some people that have a better tolerance than me that can go through the ranks and deal with that type of BS, and then maybe even surpass somebody and get to a decision making role. It's all in what role we play in this life. And some are more militant and some are more acquiescent, or or some just pretty much can be compartmentalized in a certain position or a certain box to get up through the ranks and put on a role. We talk about code switching code switching, in the community all the time. And there are some people that can code switch better than people that can just, shoot it straight. So
Yeah.
everybody has a role. And that's kind of like, even here, like, as we're talking, there's no right or wrong. If we real, it's our personal views and our personal
Mm-hmm.
morals, and that's how we, like, my personal views and morals to me is right. That could be wrong to somebody else, right? And so, with all that being said, like, it's all based on our personal views and morals.
Mm. Agreed. So I did want to speak on one thing before we get into the showcase, because it was brought to my attention. If you guys wasn't aware, just to give you some context, we had a live between some creators, and there was a whole tweet that happened about Marissa being leader of the space, and and her and Key
Is
hopped on.
this recent or was this a few
Yeah,
months ago?
no, yeah, but there's something recent that. Um,
Okay.
and there was a live that was held. There was a live that was held by a guy named Rafi Collects, right? And I mentioned, why did we have someone of the culture, someone that was not of the culture, holding a conversation or being a mediator for that type of conversation? Well, anyways, come to find out, he had been using the N word when he was younger, or whatever the case may be. He was saying some racial slur
Rappy
things.
Kicks had been,
Yes, he had been using the N
and he's not a
word.
black guy.
No. And
Okay.
that was my issue with the whole live, that he was being a mediator for it, and he was trying to try to set the piece or whatever. And apparently he felt offended by a meme. Someone searched his tweets, and he had been saying the N word, and he had used it in like lyrics, and then he had used it in like speaking as a person, like, my
Mm-hmm.
chilling with my whatever. And then he tweeted something like, he has black people lips. And this goes to our thing of being forgiven. And I feel like we are so open, and we are forgiving sometimes. And I feel like it creates things like this, where it
Mm-hmm.
opens a space for things like this to happen, because somewhere down the line, somebody normalized that for him to say the
Mm-hmm.
N word. It wasn't that he woke up one morning like, in that. Someone heard it around him, and they gave him the pass. And
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like that word holds so much weight, and it can be used in so many ways. And we have the whole movement of taking it back and all the other, whatever the case may be. That is the things that I talk about when I see these people within the sneaker space using our dialogue, using our mannerisms, and we say nothing about it. We push them up the ladder, Oh, dude's cool, dude's this, dude's that, and I'm just like, y'all don't see what I see.
I think this is a point that you make a lot, Flex, and I think that it's a valid point. I think this is just another example of what you say a lot on this pod, of like exactly what you just said. We keep pushing people up the ladder, and I think you're right. I I have been vocal about how, and I shouldn't even say I've been vocal about it. I've made comments about how sneakers used to be ghetto, and now some people get. Not only are they into sneakers, but they are the leaders in this space. So I don't know who Raffi Kicks is, but I think that it is just another incident of where not only sneaker culture, but any culture that was started by Black people, where it goes to, right? I mean, we talking about country music, we talking about rock and roll, we talking about shoot, man, even hip hop and rap, and it is. I think it's very, very. I just think that it is the just what tends to happen every single time. Because like, what's going to happen? Okay, he got exposed. Same thing with like Danny, whatever. What was the Danny kid?
Danny, I don't know.
Danny Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't buy the
Danny
Air
Moore.
Jordan 1 brand.
Yeah, that one. Danny Moore, he was saying stuff like that, and he still got a little following, right? Like, you're right. I think we are too forgiving. Now, I am not saying that we sit here and we crucify things that people say when they're younger, but if you don't, I mean, just deleting the tweets isn't enough. I feel like deleting the tweets is like sweeping the dust under the rug.
It's hiding the truth.
It's like cleaning your room, but everything's piled up in the closet, right? Like, I think that there should be an apology, and I think that there should be real remorse. And I'm going to be honest with you, with a lot of these guys, I see a majority of the time people who have been caught saying stuff like this, there is not that remorse. They are excuses, and I grew up around Black people, and that's just how they talked. And so and so gave me a pass, and just like you said, somebody gave him a pass, because I'm willing to guarantee that's what happened. There's not remorse, and there's not an understanding of what that word has meant over time, and that's why I feel like I have a little bit harder of a time forgiving people than most. But I agree with what you're saying, Flex.
Yeah, I would like to ask your opinion. I know that's a stream that we talked about, but I know you're a wrestling fan, and this is why I never really liked him as a big superstar. I think he's a great guy.
Hulk Hogan?
John Cena. I felt like he was a Black character that played a Black character, like from this to the jean shorts to the yo dog, and it shows that you can still fall in love with a person. You know what I'm saying? What role they play in that realm, because he's loved by so many Black people. I mean, I worked with kids and they loved him, and I just couldn't, like, it was cringy to me. You know what I'm saying? So, he never, from what I know, he never said the N-word, but you know what I'm saying? I know Justin Bieber, they pulled up clips about him doing cringy jokes with the N-word, so.
Yeah. When he was a kid, I seen that too.
Yeah. And I want to let me make the question clear, because how do we still preserve the community? But because again, I don't want to isolate or limit who can be part of sneakers or who can do this, So like, how do we still preserve the community, but welcome these people in?
Think about so Jwill and Dwayne. I know you were both in a fraternity, right?
Yep.
Joe, were you in a fraternity? No. When you joined a fraternity, right? Like I also wasn't in a fraternity. Were you in a fraternity, Flex? I don't know. You went to school.
He was in the Brotherhood.
Yeah, I was in the Brotherhood.
Like, you gotta learn the history. You gotta you can't just join the fraternity and be like, all right, boom, give me my purple and gold, and like, you gotta learn the history, and you have to show respect, right?
I mean,
like, am I wrong?
No,
No, you're
No,
right.
and
You're right.
I think it's the same. I feel like it's the same thing. I feel it's the same thing with sneakers, where it's like, if you want to be a part of this community, you don't have to hold everything to the standard that we hold it, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be like, okay, well, the tier goes like it's Jordans and then this and then it's that, right? Like, but
No.
you have to show respect, and you have to show
Yeah.
like, be willing to listen. Like you said, you said this and I disagreed with you, but I'm going to use it here. You got to listen to the OGs. Like you got to let the OGs be OGs.
Yeah.
So I feel like it
You
should
can't
be like
join
that.
something. You can't join something and try to be at the top of the ranks when you're a novice. That
Yeah.
shit's just backwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, pay respects to the OGs. Pay respects to and the thing is, paying respect does not mean you agree.
Right,
Paying
exactly.
respect is
That's what I
that
was
you
trying to say. Yep.
paying respect is acknowledging they've been here before you and they know a little more than you know, or they may know a little more than you know, because you might just be a nerd and you might just soak it all up and know more than them. But that doesn't mean you've lived what they lived. That doesn't mean you've experienced what they experienced. And the thing is, we as a community, whether it's sneakers or whether it's black people in general, like, there needs to be a level of respect to be in or around this community. And some people come in thinking that they top shit or top dog or whatever. And yeah, your numbers may say this, you may get this brand deal, but I watch certain creators and I hate it. It's cringy to me. I watch certain creators that will dog a shoe and
Hmm.
then find out it is rare or limited, and then be like, "Oh, this joint is actually kind of fire." I've seen
Yeah.
a certain creators specifically do that more than once,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "You're a hype beast." Like, and if you're a hype beast, you're a hype beast. That's your role. Everybody, it goes back to everybody having roles. That is your role in the sneaker community. You're a hype beast. You're not really a sneakerhead. You don't really love shoes. You love the monetization or the rarity of an item. Um, and as long as you acknowledge that and you know that and you don't try to act like you the know all be all in the community, you're good by staying in your place. Um,
Here, here's the thing: is that
yeah,
they are making money off
yeah.
of
I
what
hate it.
we're saying about what we say is cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, they waiting on us to say something is cool so that they can cash a check.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? That
No,
is one of my biggest complaints with kind of what you're talking about.
I
I
agree.
think
And it's frustrating because we've shaped the community for what it is.
Hmm.
Whether it's through just footwear or music, apparel, and footwear, bring them all together, creating these spaces, these moments in sneaker history that people talk about or create stories out of or content out of. Like, a lot of these are based around black people,
Hmm.
but we are least to benefit from our own stories.
Right.
yeah.
I like the way you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, what were you gonna say?
I think to the other part of the question, like, y'all talked about uh keeping them out and like preventing it and weeding through it. But I think one of the main things that hurt us when it comes to stuff like this, and this not even just with kicks, this is just culture and community wide.
Hmm.
It is very hard for us to collectively just get off something.
Mm,
Yeah.
Like,
mm,
we keep talking about it. We keep giving it life. We
Yeah.
keep, and I get it. The urge is there. Like, I get it. I sometimes I say this to myself sometimes, like, when I feel like I keep speaking of someone or I keep thinking of someone, or that I may have disdain for or dislike
Mhm.
for, I'd be like, I literally would say to myself, "Hey, man, it's time for you to shut the fuck up." Like
Yeah,
Giving
yeah,
you
it's
too much
enough.
power. Yeah.
It's enough. It's
Yeah.
enough of this. Like, you have allowed this entity to plant this seed within you, and you don't care for what they do, how they move. So why the fuck you keep talking about it? Let's stop
Mhm.
talking about it. Let's
Yeah.
stop thinking about it, and let's move on. And I
Mhm.
know it takes a while, but I think sometimes we don't ever get off of it collectively.
Yeah.
We find a way to
Bring it back.
Yeah,
recycle it.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that's one way where we'll have people continue to elevate, because
Mhm.
hey, they say all publicity is good publicity. And
Yeah.
there's some people that still operate and function like that. And it's like, if we keep
yeah,
talking about it, if they keep talking about it, even if they hating me, it's still a number.
yeah,
And so,
Yeah. So.
again, I don't just mean this by kicks. We just gotta learn how to check this right here,
Mhm.
check out self, and collectively get off of it. I'm off of that. All right, why you off of that? All right, bet. You know what? I can feel you. I'm off it too. And
yeah,
just walk
Yeah.
the fuck away. Go get us some soda or something,
Yeah.
and go shoot
And,
whatever. Play tennis.
Yeah.
Play tennis. Go play tennis with Morgan. We go shoot some hoops. We can go
yeah.
play whatever. Go
Yeah.
fishing. Just get off
Yeah.
of it and let them be.
But
Joe, can
I,
you also real quick, Jay Will?
mhm.
Sorry about that. I will get right back to you. But Joe, can you give us an example of something that collectively we need to move past to further your point?
In what way?
Like, can you just give us an example of what you're talking about? Like, what's
Like
an example right now that we collectively need to get off of?
in shoes or just period?
Anything,
Yeah, in general.
in general.
I mean, whew, that's a lot. Shit. I don't know how deep I want to. Let me think. Let me think of something that's. Let me think.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sure,
that is
sure.
a lot.
we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you.
I think
Go ahead.
collectively, man, this pains me. People been saying it for years, but I could just talk about what we've been talking about. Collectively, we need to move on from Kanye. Again, grace is, hey, I still got love for you.
Mm.
I hope you heal. I hope you get your sanity. I hope you gain that. But I can't do
You
it
got
no
to do it
more,
without
bro.
us. You got to
Yeah,
I
do it
can't do
without
it no
us.
more, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
I don't want to talk. Like, after tonight,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about it no
Yeah.
more.
yeah.
And I can tell you,
I feel it.
and I'm a big Kanye West fan. I've been
Me
a big
too.
Kanye West fan since I was a kid,
Man,
and but yeah, I'm ready to be done talking about him. I'm ready. I agree
yeah,
100%. I'm
yeah,
ready to be
like,
done. Um,
yeah,
like you said, I hope that he gets the help that he needs, but at the
yeah,
same time, I'm done talking about him.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. I
I
Um,
mean,
agree.
yeah.
I think
like,
that's a good
Cancel.
example. Jay Will, I'm sorry to cut you off earlier,
oh
man.
no,
What were
no.
you gonna say?
But two things. So like being off of Kanye, right? And I want all of us to see it's hard to look in the mirror and say you're wrong. So us getting off of Kanye is the same thing that we try to hold other people. Why can't they just not support what they said they've been supporting? Because don't nobody want to look in the mirror and say I was wrong. That's one of the main reasons we like, dang, I didn't fault, I didn't argue, and it's like, damn, I gotta
Yeah,
look at like, yeah, I can't
Yeah.
anymore.
Hey, that's a good one. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie to you. That is we will fight tooth and nail over being wrong, and everything is right there in your face. Like, nah, I
Nah.
got you on that. Yeah, I
But
got you on that.
to go into Flex, like I know why he's doubling down is because his homie, somebody he rocked with personally was affected. And that's something that we have a warrior spirit. Like, hey, I go to arm with like, this person is family. Like we die about that. So it's hard for us to
Yeah.
move off something when we feel like it's hurting our family. To move off of, we as family had to be like, are we cool as a family to let it go? And then when that person say like, I'm over it, I need you to be over it. That's how we gotta communicate to each other.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we will ride for somebody else because that's family. And we know they've rolled for us when we felt our weakest moment. So
Yeah.
my hat goes off to you, Flex, because I understand why it hurts even more, because it's like, nah, that's family. Like, you messing with family.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what this person
we talking
did
about
for
the
me.
Rappy
Like,
Kick
you
situation.
messing
Is
with
that what you talking
family.
about?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, specifically that situation. Yeah.
Okay.
So how
Do you agree with that, Flex?
so how do we keep on getting our representation wrong? Like anybody that comes into the sneaker culture, or
We don't choose our representation.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
That's
and,
not
we
how
and
that
at the
don't,
That's
end of
the
the day,
problem.
we
I'm
don't.
we
talking about at
tried.
the end of the day, we people.
No, no,
we
no,
Yeah.
no. Like I'm gonna use an example. So you got Sarah Jane. She spit 16 of the hardest little baby song. We will go, and I mean we as a black community go. Oh, she to the cookout. Oh, that's fire. That's fire. That's fire.
Is
No
And
idea
is
who
this
that
right
person
here?
is.
but that's what I'm
Is the
saying.
psychology?
That's what I'm saying. So
It,
how
it
how
it
do
feeds into
we?
the.
But why
It's
don't
just
we?
the deeper psychology.
Why don't
Like
we uplift the next person that does a black woman that hops
Hold
in
on.
front of the camera
Let
and
me
does 16 bars?
see.
The
Here's what I
thing
think,
is,
man. I'm sorry, real quick.
go ahead.
It's one thing to be invited to the cookout, right? But if you show up at the cookout, you still got to handle everybody else there, right? So let's say somebody from outside this group invite somebody to the cookout who don't belong. Then they get there, what they got to deal with.
Bite tooth and nail.
They might not want to come back to the cookout. They might not want to
Facts.
stay long. You see what I'm saying? Right? So we can have people invite somebody to the cookout. And I know you've used this example before, Flex, and I think it's a good point. But once you get invited, man, you still got to show up at the cookout, right? And you still got to learn how to play spades, and you still got to do all the other things. You can get invited, but you're not, you know, it might not be someplace you want to stay because the rest of the community is going to be there waiting.
So
I don't know if that was coherent. I don't know if that made sense.
no, I got you, but I'm saying like there's a lot of people within the space, and we're gonna keep it sneaker space that are on the top that have the influence, and even though y'all say that we don't pick our representation, I feel like we do because we're the one liking those pictures, we're the one commenting on those, we're the one reposting those. But again, we will repost Sarah Jane, but we not reposting our sister. We're not reposting our brother,
Who?
but
Who's not?
us as a
I
collective, as a
think
black community. Go ahead.
I think I think it all boils down to really like who's in control. Now we perceive that we have control over likes, views, and whatnot, but there's an algorithm that controls that. And if
Mm-hmm.
there is, and not saying that there's an algorithm for this specific thing that I'm about to say, but if there is an algorithm that can target someone of fairer skin talking about the same subject and boost that, that is why we don't necessarily choose our leaders because it may get more likes. I like you just mentioned Sarah Jane. I have no clue who the fuck that is,
I
but
don't either.
some folks might, or unless that was just a name thrown out as an example. But I thought you was talking about a real case. Okay,
Oh,
no, I
that's not
thought
a
you was
real
talking about a
person?
real situation.
Oh, thank
My
God.
bad, because I'm like, I don't know who the fuck
Google.
that is. Yeah, so in regards to like the algorithm or social media or even just being put out or blasted on a platform, we get short-ended every time. Like it's people that make great things, content, clothes, shoes, whatever, that get shadow banned. There are people that make very mediocre kind of content and have 100,000 followers and brand deals out the ass. You know what I'm saying? It's certain.
Yeah.
It's not in our control. Like I said, we have perceived control over this, but we really don't unless we actively are every day researching new people and liking they stuff and sending it to everybody we know and they liking it and they following it. Like it's a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
the mention, and there's no hate if this guy ever sees it, but you mentioned really got in the game off the coattails of people like Tony D2
Tony
Wild,
Wow, Bullet RC,
Bullet RC, like
100%.
these, like, and really saw that they found success in this and gentrified it, if we're
Yep.
honest. And he lives here, and I've met him, and it's, it is what it is, and I have no malice towards him, but the reality is that is the case. Like, he have a genuine love for sneakers entering the game? Not really. Not, at least, I would say not really. I do know he liked SBs. So
Hmm.
that might have been his lane in regards to sneakers. And when he decided to start making content, he may have had to educate himself a little bit, or seen that if I talk about Jordan 1s, I can get 100,000 views.
It
Or
was
if I
fashion
grab,
at first. He was
yeah,
he was talking about
it
fashion
was
at first, and a lot of
outfits.
Vans. Hmm.
Yep,
It was a lot of Vans. It was like Fear of God Vans. Like that was
yep,
his style at
yep.
first, and
Yeah,
then it
that
went to
Cali boy,
sneakers. Hmm.
kind of style. The
Yeah,
flannels and the skinny jeans and the,
like
and
Jerry
the,
Lorenzo. He was dressing
yep,
like Jerry Lorenzo.
yeah. So it's like we as a whole didn't propel him to the top. Some people, yes, liked it, and that, but it boosted his algorithm, is what I'm saying. Or more so, the algorithm boosted his content, which got it seen over Tony's. Like with Jwill saying, "Oh, I seen Tony collaborate," it should have been vice versa. Person should have been collaborating with Tony, because Tony
Hmm.
is how and got in the game. Or I'm not
Yep.
saying he got in the game through Tony, but you know what I'm saying? He had to look, read, and study these people, or knew that these people, because we all live in the same city. So it's like, these are not this is not something new. Then he didn't just wake up and say, you know what? I'm gonna make sneaker content. I love shoes. This is what I'm gonna do. No, I'm pretty sure he's seen that other people have found success in this and decided that, hey, I could do it too. And then the platforms may have boosted his content more than we actually pressing it, or sent it out to other people that would like content more so from him than from us.
Yeah. Well, let me add action items of what we can do. Going back to your
Like that.
statement, Flex, is knowing that we're talking about the algorithm, we're talking about social media, we're talking about likes, we're talking about all that, but we still have real life interactions, right? We still have boutiques, sneaker spaces, areas that you can go into to build culture, build community, and build experience, so that when you come in, you get to feel the love, you get to learn the nuggets, like you get to hear from the person that really geeks out about the history, from the person that thinks this is the coolest, and you get to get all that information. I think continuing to try to do things physically and let it flow out to social media will help us continue to grow the community in those aspects. So looking at your local boutique, seeing if they're Black owned, going supports, asking them, hey, outside of the sneakers and fashion do you sell, do you do things in the community? I would like to come through when you're doing something in the community, right? Like, how are you giving back? Like, from all the different brands, that you like. And I think those are different ways that you can do an action item to can improve the sneaker community,
Yeah.
than just, harping on the online sneaker
Yeah, I
community.
agree. I agree. I
Yeah.
think that's something we do need to separate is the online sneaker community as content creators, and I think sometimes that's hard to do because that is what we are. I mean, we create content, and a lot of our interactions are online, but there still is a real world, aspect to this that I think often gets forgotten, and that's why I'm not like I don't really stress out about the whole like cookout thing or whatever, because to me that's just talk, right? Like there's no action in
I
that.
say the first conversation when it's conversations like this is getting through the traumas and the triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then the second conversation is more so about the solutions or
Action
the
item.
things, how to
Mhm.
rectify things and heal things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Agreed.
for
Agreed.
sure.
Agreed. I like that. I like that. I like that. I think that is definitely a good way to start the conversation. Let's start within in home, in house, and then we can start working outside of the house. Um, but with that being said, let's all give a on our closing remark. Let's all give a way that we're going to start
Mhm.
within. So Morgan, starting with you first.
Yeah. I know for me, it's going to be holding people accountable. Um, I've spent a lot of time just kind of like letting things slide, like you said, being more for being too forgiving. I think you saying that kind of reminded me that yeah, sometimes I am too forgiving. And so just looking to hold people accountable and holding myself accountable, and making sure that what I'm doing, I have community in mind, not just sneaker community or black community, but community in mind. Yeah, that is my action item.
Okay. I'll go next because it kind of plays into yours. I guess I'm gonna be more forgiving. The accountability that or my expectation that I may have for someone within the black community. Maybe I should be more lenient. Maybe I should listen a little more. Um, maybe there is a story behind what's going on. Maybe they have an end game that I don't know about.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna be more understanding.
Yeah, I think
Man,
both of
hold
ours.
up.
I
Hold
think
Chris.
both of ours
up.
have to do with just listening a little more, right?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
asking
Yeah.
questions and listening.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we
Yeah.
can boil both of ours down to. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Flex. I don't feel like I'm a very good listener,
Mm-hmm.
and
As most men, as most black
yeah,
men.
right.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
feel like
say.
I'm a very good
Hey,
listener.
I'm gonna say the same thing. I
Okay, I know I didn't want to say it
yeah.
for
Hey
you,
man,
bro, but I was
hey,
opening the door for you to say that as well. All right,
yeah.
Joe, what you got, man? What's your action item?
Nah, so uh when you said hold it, I think for me it's really one of the toughest things in life is holding myself accountable.
Yeah,
That's
Mm,
I
mm,
really just I really just try to work on myself so heavy to
yeah.
the point to where I don't have forgiveness for myself.
Hmm.
So that's something that I've been working on. Is holding myself accountable, showing
Hmm.
the same grace to myself that I show to others, but also working to be better.
Hmm.
But it's like, and also just having dialogue like we had tonight.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what Flex just said, that was, because it's not, again, it's something that Dwayne said earlier. It's not always about right or wrong. It's not
Mm-hmm.
always
Hmm.
about,
Finding that common
it's
ground.
not always black and white. It's just about perspectives, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
about how we perceive things, right? And
Hmm.
so if we can have conversations where we challenge each other, and not challenge each other like, oh, you stupid, you dumb, you need to think like this,
Yeah.
but like, can we think about it like this? Cause Flex said something tonight that I was able to glean from, and I was like, you know what? I got what you're saying. It was
Yeah.
during the exchange about about the Kanye the Target,
Hmm.
and like, while I understood him, I was like, okay, I have a deeper understanding, but at the same time, it still took me back to like, okay, I understand that now. How can we go to the next step of that, right? After we have the understanding, because then it's also this thing about what I've also been working on is I may understand something, but I may not accept it,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm.
and I might accept something that I'm not gonna I
I
don't
fully
understand it, so
understand.
I accept it.
Right.
So it's like I try to go by one of those, but it really just, for me, it's just work and have conversations like this, but build on them. That's the really
Yeah.
most important thing.
Yeah.
Like, we had this conversation tonight. Even if we don't record ever again, we need to continue to have these conversations
Yeah.
and
I
continue
agree.
to
Agreed.
reel people in
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and build on those conversations and ask questions and listen, listen. Like, So yeah, that's
I like it.
me. That's
I will say one of the things that has helped, like being on this podcast, has helped me with is listening, because Flex and I, we have a lot of similar like tastes in like sneakers or whatever, but we both come from two different places. And you know, at first, and I think maybe Flex can attest to this, I was not always the most open to new ideas. Would you agree with that, Flex?
Yeah.
And now, like, now that I've been doing this podcast, I'm like, all right, let me chill out. I'm not the smartest guy in the room all the time. So yeah, I agree 100%, Joe. I think I like what you said. It's very insightful.
Yeah.
Dwayne.
Action items, man. I can't think of anything that I'm not already doing. Like I try to be as intentional as I can with my money and where I buy and spend. I'm always on the look for new black brands or black brands that are doing something positive. Like, yeah, so I'm just going to continue that and just educate however I can. Like, you know, I used to be a teacher, so if I could drop knowledge on stuff, I will. And then content, I guess, you know, being more intentional, dropping more content that puts a highlight or a focus on black people in all industries, not just the sneaker industry, just all industries, and you know, help open other people's eyes to the greatness that is out there and just in other places other than just sneakers.
Yeah, and one of the things this kind of brings me back to a conversation we are having earlier about how are we not choosing our leaders, or we're not choosing the people who are representing us. I know for a fact I have liked and favorited and commented on Dwayne's videos a lot on TikTok, and the algorithm is not pushing me your videos, right?
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
I've been shadow banned for over a year and a half. I'm actually permanently banned from going live on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
So like that's one of those things where it's like how do we, then maybe this is a question for next time, but like how do we fix that? Because Dwayne is, I feel like, doing the most with educating about like Kicks and Legacy, man. Like that is like that is something that nobody else is doing. And the one guy who's doing it just so happens to be shadow banned. It's not pushing not pushing the videos to me, right? Like that's just the reality.
Yeah.
Right? Because you said Kicksmusicart was going to be on here, bro, and I was like, oh, does he still make videos?
Still make content?
Yeah, right.
You don't
and
know how many people say that.
Disrespectful
Dog,
way.
you still make content? Yes.
Yeah. And then you said you weren't a teacher anymore, man. I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah. I stopped teaching over a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
Jwill.
Yeah.
I think from this is keep reaching further to give information opportunity to other people. And what I mean by that is I pride myself with the opportunity I've gotten to get to know all the creators by constantly reaching out to someone I didn't know and hopefully build a relationship. No matter if it made me corny, lame, whatever, I didn't care how it looked because I felt like I was kind of in a Kobe mentality, like I'm learning from everybody to build my craft. But with the information I'm getting, you know, at some point I can be jaded with just my circle. So I'm going to challenge myself that if I have information to pass, when I talk to somebody, I say, hey, is there somebody that I don't know that you can tell me that I can pass this information on to keep growing the network and information pass as I get busier and busier with things that I'm doing in the sneaker world. I want everybody to know the access and the steps as a creator if they want to be as big as they want, or if they want to tell as many stories as they want, where they can go, who to look, who to learn from. I want everybody to feel special when they're creating for sneakers. So they fall in love with it and don't directly look for the monetarily gain from it, but also can find that so they can keep the love going and not draining. So just keep reaching to connect with more people to give the answers and never feel like I'm closing the door and saying, I'm special, I'm in this room, you can't be. I want to open the door and allow everybody the ability to try to get into the room.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Um, Um, I'm glad that we had this conversation. I feel like all of us are walking away with a new aspect, perspective. Um, our call to action items that we're doing. That's why these conversations are important. For the listeners and for the watchers, understand this is not a black supreme thing. This is there's an issue within the community that we know. We know we've always known it, and we're talking about it, and we've went 62, 63 episodes, and I've never spoken on the issue. I've hinted to it, and that's what I mean by when we get getting these positions. Don't forget, what the beginning was. And the beginning was I've always said, if you guys don't know, I've always said I started a platform to help the youth, to help teens, help other people start credit, trust funds, all these things that as black men that we don't know about. It's truly we just don't know. It's not that we don't want to. It's not that we can't
Yeah.
afford. We just don't understand credit. We don't understand generational wealth. We don't understand these things, and that was always what I wanted to do. So now that we have these platforms, and I've met Dwayne, I've met Morgan, I've met Jwill, I've met Joe, like these are people that are impactful, they're influential in the community, that I feel like, okay, let's have this conversation. Let's
Yeah.
start, let's put the groundwork down, because we don't know where we're gonna be in 5 years. Let's just start
Yeah.
building it now. And
Yeah.
when we're there, we're there. And we'll think about this conversation when we're up there at the mountaintop. It's like, all right,
hmm
I remember, that conversation. And that's what I want to do. I want to plant that seed to grow something bigger.
Yeah.
But with that being
Yeah.
said, guys, I know I've held y'all guys a long time. So if y'all want to skip the showcase and we just end the episode, we can.
No, sir. We got to do the
No,
All
showcase.
right,
Come
showcase.
all
on,
right,
let's,
all
let's
right,
get the
okay, all right,
show.
hey.
I want to sell some
All
sneakers.
right, go ahead, Morgan.
I'm first.
Yeah, you so excited.
So Jay Will, I'm actually gonna throw an alley oop to Jay Will with these. I brought the Amaminair
Beautiful, bro.
threes. This is the Raised by Women pair.
Love
They
it.
just came in last week. I got them on eBay. I've worn them a couple times.
Clean.
I bought them
Great
used,
pair.
and I got them for a really good price. But the reason I wanted to give an assist to Jay Will, because in one of our episodes we were talking about James Whitner, and you actually sent me and Flex a text message talking about the things that James is doing for the community. Could you expand a little bit, or like kind of summarize what you sent to us? Because I want to make sure that we're being fair on this podcast. Like, we hold people accountable, like we said, but we're also fair. So can you kind of speak on what James is doing for the Black community?
So I'm gonna talk, but Joe and Dwayne are even more versed in this topic than I am. But what I will say about James is, outside of his mogul and his business acumen and how you see him as a businessman in the sneaker space, he's still setting aside time to improve Black people and Black communities, and he hasn't put it big on display because he knows it's not meant to be. It's for the people who want to get it. So in that moment when I reached out to you, I just wanted to say, hey, I know y'all may not know about these things, but he's got these things going that he's not going to put on Front Street, because then he'll get the wrong people in there trying to improve upon. So I just wanted to let y'all know that he's doing a lot, that to give him some grace and understand some of the people that align with him. If you believe in them, then there's a reason why they align with him in our community, Bima and some of the others that that support him. So he's doing a lot. He has Future Forward that he does promote, but Future Forward is not even about sneakers. It's about the Black community and about the community in each one of those cities. He's not the best with everything. There's different things that people have a viewpoint on him, but what I can say is he is taking time to, outside of his brand and his business, give back in the community and unite and educate and organize.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cause like I said, man, like we want to hold people accountable, but at the same time, we got to be fair, right? We got to be fair. And what we said was he was essentially telling stories about the Black community, or telling the Black story that was one of hardship and misery and all this other stuff. But in reality, he is setting aside time and, from what you said, funds, money to help the Black community. So I appreciate that.
And I think it's a little different too. Like, I know there's been a narrative online about Black trauma and Black hardship and Black, and that. So while I agree that those have been elements of some of the stories, the ultimate story is of resilience and triumph.
I was just about to say that.
And that is in every story that has been told from Raised by Women. Like, it was so crazy just seeing some people talking about the them the single mom threes, and I was just like, dog, we make jokes. I get jokes. I get jokes. I'm not tripping. I get jokes. I get comedy. But I think that when you have some people that decides to stop listening or decides to stop paying attention, that's where we get to, oh, it's just Black trauma. I'm tired of telling Black trauma. He's not telling slave stories. He's not telling stories. And again, like I say, an element. If it is talking about hardship, we're talking about the resiliency and the triumph of that. We're talking about the development and the growth from that. We're talking about the healing from that in those stories.
It's a success story in all his
success story. And I just want us to pay attention to it and not just begin to write it off, because we may be tired of hearing certain stories or certain elements of a story. It goes back to listening. Listen to the whole thing. Go through the entire thing. And if you end up where you started when you go through the whole thing, cool. But I just don't think that's what it is. And then what Jwill said, the stuff that this man does for the community, I don't want to say this. I feel like based on history, we will never see anything like a James again. We'll never see anything like a Joe Freshgoods again. We'll never see anything like what we're seeing from just any of some of these movements in free range and creativity and community and philanthropy that we're seeing right now. I just don't think we'll see that. I don't think people understand the magnitude of all James is doing and doing. Yeah, and even the circumstances to how he even got there. Mind you, he has 20 plus retail stores, all funded by himself. Yeah, owns most of the lots. Most of the lots, like
real estate. And he's building out community spaces. And I know he has a spot in Charlotte, because when I was looking to move to Charlotte, he has a spot in Charlotte that's going to be open. If it's not already open soon, that's going to be not only retail shops, but a community center and other like spaces to learn different trades or different ways to create. Same here. And I know in Detroit, he's in the realm of creating opportunities for us to grow and succeed outside of normal careers. A
Hmm.
lot of black people are creative in some sort of way, and he wants to champion that in a lot of what he's doing. And like we've all said, he's been working a lot in silent. He'll come to certain spaces like Future Forward and tell you, these are the plans that I have. I need help. I need the community's, help behind it, or, this, I'm letting y'all know what I'm doing. You can get behind it or you can't, so, or you won't. But, yeah, he's done and is doing a lot behind the scenes, and he doesn't want the praise for that. He just wants to keep doing and building.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that I have personally been unfair to James, and so like what Joe said, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna listen to the stories. I'm gonna look at it with a different scope. So yeah, I appreciate that. I'm happy to finally have the shoe because I love this shoe. Outside of
Yeah. Uh-huh.
everything I'm in there does. I've always loved social status. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow, we spent a lot of time on my shoe.
Yeah.
Jwill, let's see yours, brother. Let's see yours, man.
Every man's flawed, so there's things he can improve on.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
Oh
not
yeah,
yeah.
things
absolutely.
saying he's
Oh
perfect,
yeah.
but
I don't expect anybody to be perfect.
Yeah.
Last person who was perfect, they nailed him to a cross. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
So
only.
but and before we move on, because I want to be vocal. I want to be as vocal as I was when I was speaking on James. I want to
mhm.
be just as vocal. I don't want to be quiet because now we're talking about it. That's one of those things. I'm glad that's one of my call to actions is to listen. So now I can
hmm
go back. I can go back and I'm gonna revisit those stories. And what was the call that y'all said he'd be doing? The Forge for the Future.
Forest
Future
See,
forward.
forward.
I've never heard of that. So
Me neither.
and I'm not gonna hold him accountable for it. That's me, because
Yeah.
Hmm.
as I pay attention to, there's a certain creator I pay attention to, and I'll catch everything he does. Um, I feel like I should be
Yeah.
doing that for James as well.
Yeah.
And paying attention just as much as I hold him accountable, I should be paying attention just as close. But yeah,
Yeah.
There
why
Yeah.
should
not?
be a Future Forward in Charlotte.
Yeah,
They should
I
have
know
a division.
there's a social status, and he does the Be Social sometime. I don't know if Be Social is
Yeah.
his, but there's definitely a
Yeah, Be
division.
Social is his, but
Okay.
Future Forward is like a segment to where people in the surrounding community come
Mm,
in, and it's probably at your Be Social,
Flex,
where
you
they
in.
hold,
yeah,
yeah, where they hold the
Oh,
music.
man. Come on, man. All right. Well, I would. Come
yeah,
on.
well,
But
yeah, we got.
even to understand what Be Social is. Be Social is where he was giving out the space so that people could do
Sure.
events without being
Yeah.
charged. The only thing
Yeah.
he required was that you didn't try to monetize off of it, meaning like
Yeah, we make it
selling
free for the
something.
community.
So
At
I
that
met
actual
so many
point.
people
Yeah.
because they were able to have a space, not have to worry about overhead, and able to do an event
Yeah.
and build relationships. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, AJ. Well, what is your showcase shoe? We got a little glimpse.
Yeah, so this is the Nike Air Max 95. This is the Atlanta. With this shoe, the sneaker boutiques in Atlanta came together. Ama being one, Soul Play, which I work for a rock with, Wish, and Walters. And
Yeah.
what is important to this is we as a fist have to come together to continue to move forward, even if we have differences. So
Hmm.
collaboration is key, even if we're competing,
Hmm.
because I want you to be at your best so that when I beat you, I can get better, but you can get better too, so we can lift as we climb. So
Yeah.
this is Atlanta, baby.
Iron sharpens iron.
At Asper per Asper.
I should have brought a black shoe. No, I ain't go.
Dang, bro, Flex, that's crazy.
Go ahead,
All right, we
though.
going to Dwayne next.
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
going
two
to
nah,
black
Dwayne next, bro.
I'm
shoes.
last.
You got
I'm
two people.
last. I'm last. Go ahead.
All right, Dwayne, what'd you bring today?
So I battled back and forth. It was like I didn't want to keep showing the same. Like usually when I showcase a shoe, it's my signed Virgil off white, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not gonna do that. I do want to. It is another signed shoe.
Uh-huh.
By Wilson Smith the third,
This boy
but
here.
this it
Not the
is Black
brag.
History Month, and I would like to highlight um the first black footwear designer to Nike and pretty much of the modern era, which is Wilson Smith III. Um, like I said, I was fortunate enough to meet him. This is probably one of a design he's most famous for. So
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to show some little love to him and what he's done. I did switch out the laces, but yeah, this is what
You
I
got a
got.
lace lock on there?
Yeah, these actually Fair God laces. So I just
Oh, okay.
threw them in here. They look better
Yeah.
Yeah.
than the laces that they came with.
Yeah.
Are those the Wilson up tempos?
No, it's just a regular up tempo.
Those the ones you had on that BFF?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Which
Speaking of BFF,
me and
if
Morgan are
you
Need
were
Flex and
definitely.
being
Morgan to come.
if
Yeah.
we're talking about being more intentional and
Whew.
supporting black, I
Whew.
recommend everybody go to the Black Footwear Forum, the national forum, but also check to see if
Your
you have a
chapters.
chapter in
Yeah.
your city.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I out of everything that I've done sneaker event wise or anything, BFF was the best experience that I've had in any sneaker. Besides going back like 2 weeks later or a week later to spend my month at Pensole, BFF left me charged up. And you meet people at all the brands. You meet decision makers. You meet product line managers. You meet designers. You meet people that seeding, who's doing the seeding and selecting the seed and all that stuff. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
you meet everybody at these events, and it's not for black. It's not just about black sneakers or whatever. It's artists, it's musicians, it's painters, it's fashion, it's like it's the culture
Mm-hmm.
in a space that does invite, because it's not black only, that does invite other cultures to come in
Mhm.
as well, but it
Mm-hmm.
is called the Black Footwear Forum. um and I like I said, it is the best sneaker related event I've been to, and prior to that I would probably say it was SneakerCon LA because of everything that happened there, but this beats SneakerCon LA by a million times.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, Joe, what did you bring today?
I gotta go with these.
All right.
These things right here, man. A part of the 10-year anniversary collection, while you were sleeping collection. The three being my favorite Jordan of all time, and this not necessarily being a take, but a little bit of a take of the Black Cement 3, which is my favorite
Yeah.
Jordan 3.
Mm-hmm.
But also what was connected to this through my year of, again, I know, like, we zoom in and we be hard on each other, and a lot of the
Yeah.
times I realize we hard on each other because of how hard we may be on ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to celebrate the 10 years of just having this retail empire, like, and being black, and I'm just like black as fuck, like black.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that's one thing. And then just everything from, again, the movie that accompanied this. And it's just a beautiful shoe. It's just an elevated shoe. You could wear this with regular sweats. Or you could dress it up a little bit. I do
Mm-hmm.
both. This is my most worn shoe in probably the last 5 years. Like, crazy. This is the most
Yeah.
worn. I worn this shoe more than any other shoe in my collection within the last 5 years. And they just came out last October.
That is
I
that
was
is
too.
such a good shoe.
So yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, like it's just about being creative, being a creative, talking about, the black tax, which is something that Morgan said earlier. When you go into a business or you go into anything, you already know there's gonna not only be undertones of racism, but there will be overtones of racism.
Hmm.
And that is a tax that we live it. We live that. So, talking about that and just having control of your power, getting your power back, and how to make it through that, and
Hmm.
understanding what it is, because some people didn't even know what the black tax was. Redlining, historically, redlining, and everything like that. And so, education, community, and so yeah, and it's just a good ass shoe. I love
It
the
is
shoe.
a
Yeah.
it is a
Fire shoe.
phenomenal shoe. I got so I was crazier about that pair when they first came out than I was about this pair back over here when they first came out. I'm happy I got both pairs, and recently I got the 95s as well.
Oh yeah.
See,
So
yeah, come on, baby, just come on. Hey, it's
Hey,
cool over here. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
it
look,
is.
Hey, it's cool, baby. It's all right. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, man, it's cool, man. It's all right, dog.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, and I got the fours. I've got
I
the
see.
fours.
Come on now.
I ain't gonna.
Flex said he waiting until he drop a 11, then he gonna
Oh,
buy it.
whoa, wait! I got the threes and the 12s and
Yeah, you got
wait,
you got both
wait,
12s, right? You
wait.
got both pairs of 12s.
Yeah, I got
I was
both
just about
pairs
to
of
say.
12s,
I'm
both
not gonna
pairs of
lie,
the
and the
Yeah.
fives, the
threes.
darker fives, the darker pair of
I think I
fives
need
look
the fives
fire
too.
too.
Um,
I need
I need
those.
but
the black five still.
just like I said, I really want to, like I said, I want to be vocal. And just this conversation, I have no problem with having debates and someone proving me wrong, you know, or opening my eyes. I'm gonna say proving me wrong, but just changing my perspective. And with that being said, let's give James some flowers for at least taking on the aspect of the black community, because when you do
Mhm.
that, people can say what they want to say, but you there's a target on your back when you do that. When you start trying to uplift or create something within the black community, there's always a side eye. It may not be who you think it is, or it may not be who it is always a side eye. It's not just like, oh, he's just helping the black community. There's definitely something
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so flowers, shout out to James Whitner. But crazy
yeah.
pivot because I do have a I changed my showcase too. Um,
I see what you did. You,
East Side Golf, which is black owned. Um,
yeah, yeah.
Hold
ATL.
on.
Hey,
East side of
Low
Atlanta.
hey.
key, I want to know. I want to know what your first shoe was.
it was the I show you, I show you it was the Red Toe Allen Robinson, the
Oh, I
vintage
thought
pair.
you gonna bring out
You
some
could,
Yeezys,
you
bro. I thought you
Okay,
gonna
yeah,
bring out a
that's
pair
all
of
right.
Yeezys.
Nah,
That
nah,
that that work.
but nah, y'all was so heartfelt and just like I was like, nah, I gotta like it gotta be all black. It can't be just partial black, nah, all black. But yeah,
Nah, I mean, but I disagree. I think Allen Iverson. I think Allen
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Iverson.
Look,
Hey,
Robinson,
he
that's
brought
Robinson.
black
He
to
would
that's
have.
the
tomorrow's
Yeah,
NBA.
prompt.
yeah.
to the forefront of the NBA. Yeah.
Yep.
So I
Exactly.
went with the East
It's
Side
funny.
Golf. Oh, because I love
Go
design.
ahead, Flex.
And also, I think I've said this before, but down here in the Carolinas, there's a thing called like the red clay, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've actually had members of my family tell me how they used to eat red clay. I don't know how they did it. Don't know what the process was. Didn't want to know how they did it, but because I had to ask them, like, you mean like off the ground? Y'all just picked it up and like, what is y'all? They're like, yeah, red.
They lived a long
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah, still alive, still
Yeah,
alive. But
yeah.
I feel like that's why it felt nostalgic to me because it just felt like, okay, this is part of where I come from. I have aunts and uncles that ate red clay, and a lot of other
Mhm.
things, man. A lot of things that we talk crazy about, But yeah, that is all black culture, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
a lot of those things that were shunned or we didn't speak of are at the forefront now. Jordans, sneaker culture, sneakerheads. We used to, oh, you ghetto, why y'all sitting outside? Those were not, it was not a thing to be into sneakers and be inspiring people. It was just like, oh, you just
Yeah,
wasting your money. Now all of a sudden it's an investment. But
Yeah.
with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys, taking time out your day to have this conversation. A very
sure.
much needed conversation that conversation that we need to continue having um
Yes, sir.
throughout the entire year. And I'm opening up this door to I have no problem with y'all guys reaching out to me. If y'all feel I'm moving a little different, if y'all feel I'm not sticking to the agenda, I have no problem with that. Hit me up. Like I have no problem with give like Jwill did when he heard us speaking on James. He sent us a text message.
Mhm.
It went in a disrespectful way, but it was just like, hey, y'all
Right.
kind of hard on him, and this is
Yeah.
why. And it's as simple as
Yeah.
that. And it's just how we had these conversations. With the conversation about Target, the conversations about Kanye. I mean, we can have conversations and still build. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we need. And that's another thing within the black culture. We suppress our feelings, we suppress our traumas, we suppress everything, and then it just kind of
Mm-hmm.
builds up, and you blow up on the wrong person, or your anger is
Mm-hmm.
more intense than it would be if you did talk about these conversations.
Mhm.
In which I feel that could be the reason why I have these expectations or this anger towards when I see someone that's of the black culture do something I don't agree with or understand it, if I may
Mhm.
say. But yeah, any closing remarks, guys, and we'll be out.
Nah, just appreciate you having me on, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
For real.
And like you just mentioned, and I know Joe talked about, is like we have to give each other grace to
Yeah.
at least, if you want to have an opinion, try to find out a little bit more information. We can be influenced by our peers, so even if a friend tells you something, try to figure out that experience for yourself, and then double back and be like, yeah, I'm on that same page. But a lot of times we can move in groups because we are loyal, we ride with our people. But
Yeah, yeah.
anybody that's black, even one thing I want to stay away from is devaluing someone's black because they're mixed, because
Yeah.
we've had a lot of
Thanks,
the
Jay Will.
people
I
that
appreciate
fought
that, man.
for our rights be mixed.
right
I
on,
mean, some
Morgan.
people don't know Bob Marley's mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
we've had a lot of people fight for our freedom through music, through expression, through politics, all walks of life, because they at some point had that black experience that they can never erase off them.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
All right.
What?
Hey, we got like what 3 hours in here. We
Yeah.
talk about the mixed people. I'll take it, man. Here we are.
I mean, I do want I want to speak on that too, but I just will start a whole nother conversation.
Nah, look,
It
look. Jay
is.
Will started talking, bro. I was like, does
It,
Jay Will know that I'm mixed?
Yeah, I
um.
know you, man. I've watched all y'all's episodes. If I didn't know now, I definitely know.
Oh
I know
yeah.
now.
But my wife she's mixed, but she
Okay.
Mhm.
identifies as black.
Mhm.
But I understand the viewpoint of someone being mixed and not directly identify as black, because there's a dichotomy in their family lineage that they have to work out. But
Yeah. Yeah.
we're in
Yeah,
America, so if you're
I
mixed, at some point you're gonna be considered black. You're
Not
gonna get to some
growing up.
room,
like
and they gonna
grandma.
be
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, I don't care what your mama look
I
like,
was
or
like,
daddy
grandma
look."
always say, "You black, baby.
Yeah,
You black, baby. Ain't
yeah,
You
no,
black.
look.
ain't no hat. You black, baby.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
black,
grew
baby."
up identifying as mixed,
Ain't no.
and um,
They said, "Nah,
I
bro."
noticed that when it came down, yeah, when it came down to it, them folks didn't consider me mixed. I was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I do identify as black now, but that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any closing remarks?
I definitely want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
And I know some of y'all don't see me no more. I'm still making content, but definitely thank you for allowing me on you guys' platform to share what little wisdom or knowledge I have. Yeah, I appreciate y'all
Of
for having me
course.
on.
Appreciate you joining us,
Absolutely,
man.
we appreciate
Yeah.
you
Just
taking the
so the
time.
listeners know, it is in Indianapolis Eastern Standard Time. It is 1:21 a.m. and I'm sure somebody on this episode got work in the morning. So we appreciate
Ooh,
everybody.
somebody, all of us do.
Coffee.
Not me. I don't go until the afternoon.
You still got to work tomorrow, buddy.
That's true.
You know,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I was gonna say something. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that because we in the same boat. We both will be in the house.
Yeah.
For the, if you know, you know. But with that being said, as I always say, guys, love, peace, and sneakers.
Peace.
So brothers, yeah. So brothers, retro 7, retro 3s, metallic 7, retro 11, sitting on freeze. They got so